I decided to put Russell aside for the moment and complete repairs on my bigger engine. It's been a while since I worked on the gas mechanical, so I'm going to get down to it now and remove the wheels, take a look at them and get them off the axles ready for the new wheels. So let's get a go on that. First thing I need to do is lift the engine up off its wheels so I can slide them out from underneath. It's heavy. I've never weighed the Loco, but I estimated it's over 200 pounds. Of course, I didn't want it to fall. I just can't get the stuff. It's a heavy beast, this one. I asked the missus to take a break from making dinner to give me a hand.
Stable enough?
Yeah, stable enough. Thank you. Now that I've got the engine up off the ground, I'm going to loosen off the wheels by releasing these here. These are just to retain the bearings in the slots here. One off. Put it on the floor. Wear these gloves because everything's so greasy. Don't want to get it on my little putties. This is the power from the gearbox here going down onto this transfer to the other chain that goes down to the wheels, and I need to release this to allow there to be a slack in the chain down on the wheels, and then I can drop the wheels out without having to break the chain. There we go. I realise now I should have released these little clips before I jack the engine up, because the spring's now tensioned onto them. It's making them much more difficult to get off the threads. There we go. Now, where did that disappear to? I've been working on my little steam engine too much. I forget how heavy these are. Now look at that, you can see the crack in the flange on that side. And you can see the missing flange on this side. Right there. One wheel set out. Great. That's the wheel set dropped out. You can see where the chain runs on the cog here. You can also see, if you look closely, the wear on the tyres. Look at that deep groove there. What I really like is these self-aligning bearings. They really work well. Now what I have to do is take off these bearings, either end, take the wheels off the axles. They're Loctited on, so I'm going to have to heat those up, and then put the new wheels. These are the new wheels which you saw me machining on the lathe earlier. I'm going to have to broach a keyway into here. This is the same as the keyway that's in the wheel here. Now these end bearings are held by small Allen key grub screws. 2 of them. Loosen those off. Like that. And then bearing slides off. Now sometimes it doesn't. It gets gnarled up and I have to use a slightly bigger persuader, which is for cracking joints on car suspension systems. So that's one of the bearings off. That came off nice and easy. The other side. Okay, that's the second bearing off. That wasn't too hard. Now, to get the wheel off the axle, so what I'm going to have to do now is heat this up to break the Loctite. I'll show you how I do that. I've cleaned as much of the grease as I can off the wheel and the axle here. Now I have to heat it up. I don't want to heat it up until it's cherry red. I just need to heat it up sufficiently that the Loctite here will break and not remain holding. And I can't remember what the heat is, but I'll kind of judge it, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, it's just going black a little, which shows that I think I've got to the right heat. This end here. I don't want to get it too hot because I don't want to distort the metal. I'm going to turn it around to do the other side without burning myself or dropping it. That was successful. Light it up again. Here we go. So that's both ends heated. I'm not going to douse it underwater because it might distort the axle. It could crack the cast iron wheels off with just a water shock, but I don't want to take that risk. I'm just going to let it cool off naturally and then I'll knock the wheels off. I'll show you that in a moment. Now it's time to beat these wheels off the axle. I put some wood on the floor here to protect the floor, and I'm going to use my trusty lump hammer to knock these wheels off. Now I don't need to protect the wheels at all because these are scrap wheels, so if the flanges break off it doesn't matter. So here we go. What I have to be careful with is not to hit the chain gear here. I don't want to knock any of the teeth off that. That would be a bit painful. It's already beginning to show signs of coming loose. That's great. A few more knocks and it'll be off. Okay, got the wheel off there. It's a pretty hard knock really to get it off. That Loctite was, and the squeeze of the wheel into there was pretty good. You can see the keyway there. I'm going to put another keyway into the wheel, into the new wheel, to correspond with that. I've not damaged the end. The wood helped. If I'd just been knocking that into concrete, I would have damaged the end here, which I haven't done. That's the wheel, pretty well knocked about. Onward to the next wheel, this one here. It's a bit closer to the chain drive. I'm going to have to be very careful.